whatever you're thinking is your mind's vocabulary. Whatever you're feeling is your body's vocabulary.
Right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to OceanRock Health. Today I have Nelda. She just one name wonder.
Yes.
Nelda is one of our therapists and group facilitators at OceanRock and also some of our other programs. She really highlights and focuses on calming the mind through a different modalities, including Reiki, meditation. She'll go through the whole list herself, but she's one of the most spiritual, kind, relaxing, set the tone type of people. And I feel like every client we've ever had has only said good things about you, Nelda. So, for those of the people out there who haven't experienced your sessions, I want them to learn a little bit more about you and what you do for OceanRock, but also, there's a lot of questions out there. People are asking questions online, and we want to see if we can answer some of those topics. So, welcome to the show.
Mahalo for inviting me.
Yes, mahalo.
I was really surprised. I'm like, oh, Tom's calling. What's going on? So when you invited me to do this, I was really excited.
Yeah, no, I'm excited too. So, the reason we like working with Nelda is she really brings a lot of peace to wherever she goes. That's her aura, her mantra, her way of life, her way of being. And she is able, and what's really fascinating to me is that you can emit that to the group and to the other individuals in the room. So tell me a little bit about your background, how you got into what you do, and actually what is it exactly that you do? What are the modalities?
Okay, the modalities encompass mostly yoga studies.
Okay.
So I've been studying this for years, almost all my life, mostly on my own, and then I became a yoga teacher back in 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been, officially. And then this is really strange because it was when I first started, I had no idea I would ever end up in recovery. I mean,
Right.
helping people in recovery. I was just teaching yoga. And then COVID hit, everything shut down. And a therapist came in, was coming into my class, and, we talked briefly, and I didn't even know what she did. But then they called. Once the yoga studio stopped and everything closed, they had to do some things online. And that's how it all started.
Wow.
And I'm going, how am I going to do this? It was a whole different thing. And at first, I was thinking, this has to be done live because
Right.
this is what I'm used to. And then I just said, I can do it. I can do it. And I had no idea. But this is how it started, the online thing. And like what you were saying, how I can bring peace through a screen.
Right.
This way, I feel like we're in the same room.
Right. That's what's beautiful about it. I think that was the misconception that a lot of people had that, I feel like COVID was such an awful thing for a variety of reasons, not just the virus, but just, with the whole social component to it and the distancing and everyone staying at home and kids staying at home. And it was just, I think we're going to have decades of chaos and problems because of it, but from a mental health perspective. But the one good thing about it was that people become more accustomed to virtual and Zoom and online meetings, therapy, and other types of things. And I think, with mental health specifically, the myth is that, you need to be there in person, because if you're not there and you're not sitting next to somebody, how can you see the body signals and, how can you really communicate? But what we've noticed through OceanRock, which is, predominantly a virtual platform for mental health and substance use disorders, is that we're able to connect with people at a high level, and sometimes even better than if it was in person. And we've removed a lot of the barriers to having the access to care. So because it's video-based, right? So I think that's the one key component is, prior to video-based therapy, phone therapy doesn't really work, right? So you need to have that visual image. You need to see the other person. You need to kind of have that, language, the non-speaking language of of communication. but it's a beautiful thing. And I think you're able to reach a lot more people than you could otherwise. What have you noticed doing it virtually and doing it online, where you've actually seen some of the benefits that you didn't see prior to that?
Okay, so besides the yoga aspect, a lot of people think it's just the asana, the physical aspect. But there's so much about the well-being of the mental and spiritual. Because your body, listen, so whatever you're thinking is your mind's vocabulary. Whatever you're feeling is your body's vocabulary.
Right.
And so a lot of this, when we're online, all this yoga says entails so much. Like I said, there's the asana, but there's an arm within the Vedas, which is called Jyotisha. Also, you have the Ayurvedic, how you feed yourself, your body. The asana is how you stay physically healthy. And then there's Jyotisha, where how you keep your spirit healthy and how you can live your highest potential. And you can do this by reading the universe, the energy of the stars, because if we just talk about our energetic body, and this is what I try to do with vibrations I try to get them to wear headphones because your whole body will feel it. It's not just coming through, the space of a speaker.
Right.
This way it's going right into the body. But let's see, where was I? I was going...
The vibrations.
The whole vibe, the subtle body.
Right.
Okay, so with everything, it's really woo-woo. Because a lot of people, they're coming in, they want the help of a therapist. They want this, they want someone to go right into their brain. But they don't realize that we are energy, we are frequency, we are sound. And your energetic part of your body runs through the chakras, which is red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and white. And each one of these are, say, red is the frequency of 429 quadrillion. That's like 4 sets of 3 zeros. And then to 800, which is purple. And this is how quick these vibrations are. And if you are aligning all this color, you are the best rainbow, the best rainbow of yourself, and you're going to live your highest potential. But if something is off, like your confidence is off, your yellow is not presenting, that's your sun, that's your confidence. So we talk about all of this. One of the exercises I did the other night was I gave them a list of colors, and they don't have any idea what I was going to do. And I just made them write a story. And how the story in the order that they put the colors could tell how someone's saying, oh, I'm an ugly green frog. So like I'm not loving myself, saying, because green is love, but I'm ugly. So do you know what you're saying by, writing this or...
So kind of tapping into that subconscious.
Exactly.
What they've stored in their mind and, in their body.
Exactly.
And they don't know how to communicate and release that, and that's what's causing them, all the pain.
All of it.
Yeah.
And so a lot of it is the trauma that they felt before and recognizing what that is. So by being able to change those feelings and kind of, it's not like rewiring yourself.
Right.
There's a lot of talk of neuroplasticity and how you can change. But a lot of it has to do with how you're vibrating. Right. And how you're waking up every day. Are you laying there and just say, I love me, I'm going to have a great day, or, oh God, I got to go to work. So what life path do you want to start your day on? I'm
the first one.
Right. I'm going to have
a great day. I wake up every day and I think, I'm just positive mindset, in terms of I feel refreshed. It doesn't matter, obviously you want to get a lot of sleep and all those things, but even if I don't, I'm just so thankful to be awake that morning and have a purpose for what I want to do that day. And that drives me for the whole day. So, you know,
But
it's
I
exciting.
feel that, Tom.
Yeah.
I feel that from you because I've been there from the beginning, with beginnings,
Right,
and
right.
and how OceanRock is, and I'm seeing how you're opening up, just wider and wider, and just brighter, and even the people that are coming in and how they feel, and what they are receiving from this.
Yeah.
So
I
I
think
feel grateful.
I think it's a combination of having really good people that are part of our team, like yourself and others, who really are doing this for the right reasons. You know, you guys are all so passionate, and I mean, I just put all these things together, but at the end of the day, you guys are what, if it wasn't for the work that you guys do and the message that you guys carry and the healing that you provide to the clients, really, we wouldn't be doing anything. So, we're well known in the community to be a solid program, a place that cares about clients, a family environment. And even though we're growing and we're doing the virtual and we're doing other things, we're doing it in a way where we're keeping that integrity. But it's because of the people that we have, as on our team. And the diversity too. We have such a diverse team, right? And not only just from their demographics, but also from a modalities, from kind of a different types of, delivery. Because I feel like a lot of people, a lot of the clients, they are suffering, but they respond to different individuals and different types of treatment, right? So what's really cool about OceanRock is we have, our 9-hour IOP program. We have 9 different people running each of those hours. That's pretty unique. A lot of places you just have 1 or 2 people and they just do the whole thing. And the reason we do that is because we want to get that diversity for the clients so that they might respond to just very cerebral, DBT type of, session. They might respond to, more of a medical or nursing or something related to the just neuro component of it, right? Or the medication component. But they might respond better to, what you provide,
Spiritual.
right? Spiritual and the senses, and how do you, get the feelings and emotions out of your system through some type of, activity, right? An activity-based treatment. And so I think that's really what makes us unique, is that this is not just talk therapy. It's very active. They're very highly engaged, and then they have a lot of different things they can pick and choose from. So, one thing that you were mentioning that I wanted to kind of learn more about is you were talking about the chakras and kind of the different colors and the different kind of I don't know if you would call it hierarchy, but just kind of the different levels. And like, what is I think there's a lot of stuff online and a lot of, I want to have this color, that color. What is the goal? I mean, is the goal to have a certain color? Is the goal to, like what are people looking for?
The goal is to be, because we're all white,
Right.
but it has every single color within white,
Right.
and we're just reflections of one another.
Got it.
So, but we're in a body that is, I call it the meat suit.
Uh-huh.
But if we unzip ourselves
Mm.
and we see each other, we're exactly the same.
Right.
We're just full of love. But if you are living your highest potential, you're vibrating at your highest self, you are rooted, you're going to be a loving, giving tree. That book, I love that book, The Green Giving Tree. That is your root, that's red. Then you have your orange, which is your sacral chakra, which is your creativity. One of the most creative things you can do is have your baby. This is that area right behind the navel. Above that is your solar plexus, which is yellow, and where your self-esteem is, and how you are strong, where your strength is. The trunk of your tree. You have your roots, right?
Right.
And then you come up and you have where you are connected to the earth, Mother Earth, and then you get up to the heart. You have your confidence here. You have to be human here. You have to be strong. You have to have your willpower to do and make the best choices. Then you have your heart, which is compassionate and being able to feel empathy for others, because this is what you want to do. It's like, what can I do for you?
Right.
It's not what are you going to give me?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that. It's we are all here, brotherhood of humanity, connected. We're family. So here is connected Mother Earth and to the universe, because look at how huge this is. The heart is making sure that you're connected both. And if you lose this connection to what the truth is, your Vishuddha, the blue, telling the truth, being able to communicate, and it comes out from all of this. This is why we use our hands when we talk, but this is part of the chakra, the Vishuddha chakra that's spinning here. Then you have your intuition, which is very, very important, because you have to trust yourself. You have to be able to use your imagination, because sometimes when we're raised, someone will tell us, you can't do that. You have to do something that's going to make you money.
Right.
And so you're stuck with that traumatic thing. Like what my father said, you're never going to make it as a singer.
Right.
Why do you want to be a singer? And, I wanted to prove him wrong, But it was for me to get the attention. And what I realized is my voice, because I chant a lot for, the clients, and when I'm doing the sound healings through when they're listening. A lot of that, and all of that is vibration, because we are vibration. That's why music is so astounding, and how it just grabs us. We remember every single song. It can take us right back to that feeling of, when you first met this girl and you're like dancing, or, your wedding song, all of that. Right. So by having all your colors aligned, then you're white, and then you know how to communicate with everyone. You can walk down the street smiling and say, hey, how was your day? And mean it.
Right. Right.
Well, yeah, how's the weather?
So that's the goal.
You want to be real. You want to be honest. Everybody needs to tell their truths, no matter how butt ugly they are. This way, because
right.
It's
true. People have a lot of stuff that they've buried, inside, and a lot of it is because of involuntary things that have happened to them. From birth all the way up to adolescence through adulthood, depending on the different age, right? And so, trauma is a big one. Trauma, you see that a lot with the younger kids. These days, it's become a lot more prominent. You see it a lot with, veterans. You see it a lot with the military population. We actually have launched our veterans program as well, both at South Coast and at OceanRock. And really putting a track together for military veterans and families through TriWest, TRICARE West. We've gotten contracts with all of those. So that's exciting, because I feel like, there's a lot of people out there that have given so much of themselves for this country or for their families, and, they don't have a safe place to come back mentally. So they're back physically, but then mentally there's been so much disruption. So to provide a program where you can help them and you can kind of get them through it and back to having a positive mental health is both exciting and rewarding. So, you talked about the white chakra and kind of the different chakras. What creates blockages, and what are methods that you use to unblock?
So, okay, I want to go back to recognizing how I do natal charts.
Okay.
I do natal charts. So I talk to them, and they tell me everything that's going on, and it's key to listen. As a person on the other end, that you want to help them in every single way you can, whether it be addiction or mental health, or with depression. To me, it's all the same. It's all the same thing, because what people try to do with the drug addictions is cover up, just numb themselves so they don't have to feel it. But they have to feel it in order to change, to make that behavior transformation. So what I do is, if they give me their birth, where they were born, and the exact time. There's a star that is coming up, and then there's a picture and a recipe of energy from each of these stars that are up there, not just the planets. This is like so different from the Western astrology. It goes a lot deeper, and each one of these have colors,
Mm-hmm.
and they are connected. These planets are connected to your chakras. So, like if Mars is like your passion for life is in a weak place, this is something that is supposed to help you. It's not supposed to be, oh, I have Mars there. That means I suck.
Right.
No,
Right.
this is what you work towards. Everything is working towards being better. You might be lucky you have Jupiter in Sagittarius, you're very naturally wise. You have confidence because you're wise. You already understand that. But then if someone told you that you're stupid,
Right.
you're not going to trust that yellow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're not going to trust that you have that
Mm-hmm.
because you don't know. And I'm showing them exactly what they're made up of. They might be this wonderful cake that has all these beautiful ingredients,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not willing. Or here, this is one of the best things that I have given someone was they have such an incredible brain. It's kind of like they have a Ferrari in their garage, and they're not willing to drive it.
Wow, I like that.
So there's so many different ways. There are so many different ways that you can tell someone what they could be good at. Like if Mercury was in Virgo with the moon in here,
Mm-hmm.
creativity and being able to write.
Right.
One of the biggest people that used this was, who's the Harry Potter lady?
J.K. Rowling.
She's a Hasta Moon,
Mm-hmm.
which is a writer, creative, emotions, being able to put your emotions out on paper.
Right.
Kind of just being able to throw this up. And she held on to that. She didn't know that was ever going to be published. This
Right.
is something, we hold on to so many things that we don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but we know, okay, I was asking another client, I go, what is it that you do with your hands? And she goes, I don't know. I don't do nothing. I go, do you write? Do you draw? Do you paint?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's sitting around. And then we went to break. She comes back. She goes, I play the piano. I played it for like 15 years, and I'm really good. And I go, well, why'd you stop?
Right.
So there's like little things that she goes, well, I got depressed. There was something that happened with a boyfriend, and what happened? An external thing stopped you from being who you are.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Just exploring that, uncovering that.
right. This is another thing. I did a couple session at another rehab.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's all women. And I said, the whole point of this is to dig deep.
Mm.
I call it spiritual archaeology.
I like that.
Next time I came in, she made this.
Oh, wow.
Spiritual archaeologist.
That's awesome.
So you're always trying to dig as deep as you can to get rid of the trash.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of the trash. Let go. Just say, I am love. And push that down where you've let go of it, and then push everything ugly out.
Mm-hmm. I love it. And I mean, I think the key is having somebody like you as a guide to help them navigate that terrain, right? Because just saying those things, people, oh, okay, well, first of all, anything that is worth doing is hard, and it's challenging, right?
Exactly.
And then also, a lot of times it's simple, but it's the notion is simple, but the actual action is challenging and difficult, right? So, that's why if you have somebody who can help you through it, it's almost like a coach or a trainer or a therapist, whatever we want to call it. It's somebody who is going to be next to you and by your side and working with you through those things. Because that way, when you get stuck or when you want to give up or when you want to just quit, they're going to push you along, And I think that's what we do is we work with these clients intensively throughout the week, where we don't really give them a chance to give up. And if they do want to give up, then, they know that we're right there. Mm-hmm. And we're there as a resource, and we're there with them, 3 to 5 days a week, 3 hours a day. Yeah. So, it's a lot of work, but at the same time, it's rewarding because a lot of times people are at their point where they need that level of therapeutic help. And just 1 hour is not enough, right? What are some, let's go. I have actually a list of some questions here that I think, we had some questions that came up online. A lot of things people are asking or looking for. And we'll kind of just shoot through these and just feel free to answer them however you feel comfortable. Why is my mind not calm?
Because you're constantly thinking of what you're going to do next, or what am I supposed to do? What is most important is right now. Am I breathing? Am I breathing? Am I doing something different, or is this the same thing that I'm doing all the time? There are so many things that you hold on to, like we talked about,
right.
Letting go. Here's an experience. I went to India a few months ago, and there was many things that happened. And one of them, and when you're traveling, things can happen. The fog was really bad one day. We were supposed to fly. We didn't. That got canceled. It was only supposed to take 3 hours to get to the Ganges. They said, let's get on the train. It'll take 7. It took us 14 hours.
Wow.
The people that were with me were freaking out. There were so many, and they go, I've got to get off this damn train. This is making me crazy. And it was one of the best times of my life.
Wow.
For 14 hours, I talked to the people. I got to know the people that were in there, and they were on their way to celebrate death of a family member, and those people left, and another person who studies Jyotisha just like me. We talked about the exciting transits of the planets and the different feelings of how all this energy was changing for everybody, and what that was doing for us. So it depends on what you want to do. Someone said to me years ago, there are no boring things. There are only boring people.
Yeah. No, it's funny because you mentioned travel. I have, for whatever reason, I have anxiety when it comes to flying. And some people do, some people don't. And what's bizarre for me is, I do a lot of things that most people would find highly stressful, and it doesn't stress me out at all, whether it's running businesses or just dealing with all kinds of controversy and conflict. Easy. I mean, not easy, but, it doesn't give me the stress and anxiety and all that type of stuff. It actually makes me motivated and excited. But when I want to fly, just even before I get on the plane, the whole time I'm thinking about it, I get anxious. And it's physical. So it's not, if it was just mental, I'd kind of talk myself through it, but I feel it physically. But I still end up doing it, and it's, I just have to go through. I feel like it's exhausting because I have to do my breathing. I have to talk to myself. I have to do all these things because I personally don't like to, at least when it comes to that type of thing, I don't take any medications for it. So I kind of do it through, different types of self tools that I've gotten along the way.
But this is something.
Yeah.
I'm going to
maybe you can fix me. I don't know.
You got to give me your details, because something has happened to you.
Yeah. I don't know.
Something has happened to you that has to do with flying, and it's within this your DNA.
You know what it is?
It's
just
something that happened.
Just to give you maybe a little bit more info. It's for example, I'm up there in the plane. I actually like the flying aspect of it, right? It's not the flying that I'm scared of or have anxiety. I think it's just being in an environment where I don't have control. That's part of it. But also not, the control is not, I'm not, it's, if I'm here and I don't have control, I'm okay. You can take all the control for the rest of the session, right? But it's being in a plane, being in a place where I can't get out. Well, what if something happens to me? What if there's a medical issue? What if something happens where I don't have access to something and I'm just kind of trapped, right? So it's almost this being trapped component more so than heights or the actual flying component, because I like the traveling part. even sometimes when I want to go on a long road trip or I want to go somewhere that I'm not familiar with, I get those similar types of feelings. But so but I always enjoy the journey.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a weird thing for me because I really kind of have to talk through the whole thing for you to get a good idea about it. But the good news is, I still go places and I'm not just, however, I will say, and some people on my team, they're like, hey, let's go to Texas, let's go here because we want to grow OceanRock. I'm like, you guys can go to all these places and I'll just zoom into some of these. Like, I'll travel only if I have to, not. And I want to. So that's one thing. If you could say, hey Tom, what's one thing you want to change about yourself? I would say I want to be able to travel and fly and go around, but without it being so much work, with it being just the fun and enjoyable, and not having to put all this effort and work into getting over these anxiety-related feelings and thoughts and things like that. So,
that's really
that'll
interesting.
be.
You gotta give me. I gotta see.
I gotta get you for a private session.
Yeah.
For that, yeah. It was just fascinating because you were bringing up the 14 hours. I think I would have been one of those people. Like
I'm telling you.
Put me in a, courtroom for 14 hours, I'll be fine. But you put me, in a.
You can't get out of this train.
You can't get out of the train. The flying thing, I don't know where I am. I don't think I'd handle that well. But I'd still make it. I'm like, I'll fight through it. But
we're there. Once you're here and then you're there.
One thing that's also interesting is one of the tools that I use, which is not even a tool, but it's just like what makes me comfortable. Mm-hmm. If I'm on an airplane, I like to talk to people, right? And so if I'm with people I know, that's easy. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times you're traveling for business or work or whatever, and you're sitting next to a stranger. Normally people don't like to talk on planes. And I used to think it's because, like, is there something about me, right? But that's because we're all like, oh, it's about us, right? So I figured out it's either because they're also nervous, but the way they deal with it is through maybe putting on their headphones or reading a book or, taking some medication that's kind of numbing them out, which I think that's probably 50% of people on the airplane. I didn't realize that until recently. A lot of people just take something and then they're like, kind of checked out. But I'm like the guy, if I'm on a 3-hour flight, I can talk to you for the whole 3 hours. And that'll be the most relaxing thing for me. And it'll go by without, we're landing? Oh, we just landed. I didn't even notice, So I'm that guy. But I think depending on who's sitting next to me, if you're sitting next to me, you're like, oh, that's great. If someone's sitting next to me who's like, can't believe this guy's annoying, and so then I'll just shut up and just figure out a different tool.
But Tom, these kind of things happen all the time. This trip, I ended up to be near people like you,
right?
Who ended up. We were talking the whole time. At first, I'm going to I'm going to India. I want to meditate.
Right.
I want to be able to
introspection.
Right, and I was having problems with my seat. They weren't going to put me in the seat that I paid more for. I went blah blah blah. I went through all of that, right? And then I go, I need to have the seat, and I asked for a window seat, and this is what I was demanding, because usually I'm the person that, whatever,
right.
I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna cause any waves,
right?
But I've grown up. I'm going like I have to own my own power. I have to own my own power. I have to stand my ground. I got my seat, and this guy, we started talking, and the whole thing, we started talking about so many things, everything. And then I go, let's exchange cards. His last name is Alvarez.
Oh, wow.
Just like mine. And we're going like, how is it? Where are you from? How is it? This is so weird. But he's like from New Jersey, and I'm from Hawaii.
Right.
And, we both have the Filipino heritage, but, we're so far apart, and we come to this flight together.
Right. That's beautiful. I love that. I love stuff like that.
It's you create.
You don't know if you don't talk.
Right.
If you don't
know.
We're all just like in tunnel vision, and you don't know who's next to you. They could.
But you can also create. If you're positive, you're positive, and there's so many people that are, woe is me, I'm not going to get this. Yeah, you're not going to get it.
Right.
You keep thinking that way, it's going to be your life.
But I think a lot of it is because people are assuming that the other person doesn't want to talk to me because, and fill in the blank, right? Because they're too good looking, because they're not good looking enough, because they look serious, or they look, like fill in the blank, right? Whatever that is. And it's like, they're not thinking about all that. They're probably going through the same thing in their head that you're going through, and, or whatever, right?
You seriously do think a lot. Man. That is so funny.
Anyway, so getting back to the question, these are what the people want. The people are asking. So let's do this one. Let's do
The people. You remember that movie?
Yeah.
Sybil?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was
good.
That was crazy.
Can you improve mental health naturally?
Yes.
How?
I want to say by going in.
Mm-hmm.
This is by really letting go of the external out there, because what is happening is you're getting all the extra vibrations of everybody else that doesn't belong to you.
Got it.
Has nothing to do with you. So, yeah, drink a lot of water, eat right, but the mental thing is just to say, you must take some time to clear and take out the trash. You have to say, I am love. It sounds really crazy. I use a lot of Sanskrit, and I went through 120-day practice of doing this one mantra, and it was just to develop my spirituality, my musicality, my knowledge, and by just saying this particular mantra over and over again, I would do it for an hour with 9 other women from around the world. Because this was during COVID, we did it for 120 days, and after that, all these things started happening. I started to have these creative dreams. I mean, you open up a section of you that was locked up.
Mm-hmm.
If you can just go inside and start digging things up and taking time for yourself, even though you're repeating these things.
What was the mantra?
The mantra is called the Sri Suktam, and it was actually to bring abundance. And it's not it's not just money, but what everybody thinks. It's really peace. It's contentment, and I was feeling more myself than I had ever in my whole life, and people were calling me that I hadn't heard from. The dreams that I developed this card set of how to help people, so that they could hold them. It's like how people love to go to tarot and everything, but this is all about your chakras. This is all about the planets. This is all about the energy in the sky. The nakshatras, all the different kind of star energy there is, and how all of us have that. Mm-hmm. We're all made up of the same energy, but we're different cakes.
Right.
I'm chocolate. You're whatever you want to be. A mocha with
I like chocolate with ice cream. You earlier you said something about the astrology and the kind of the way you look at things is a little bit different than the Western astrology. So what is yours called? It's
called Jyotisha. It's a Vedic science.
Okay.
And it's so it's from the East. Okay. Western is I use both of them.
Right.
Because Western is calendar. It's the tropical. It goes by the calendar months, the seasons.
Right.
And the Jyotisha is by a sidereal zodiac, which is about 24 degrees difference. So sometimes you might be the same, but a lot of it is your moon and your rising star, not just the sun. Mm-hmm. Because the sun is how you show yourself.
Right.
This is your, how you want to show your power.
Right.
But really, emotionally, your whole mind, when I say mind, body, it's your body. Mm-hmm. It's your body, the vocabulary of your emotions, because that's what the moon has. The sun is You know, it's just like, this is me. And a lot of, like that book, Men Are From Mars, I could just skip all over the place with energy-wise.
Right.
But when you're looking at the moon energy and the star that you're born under in the moon and your ascendant, it really shows how you can rise up, what you're rising up to be in your highest potential in this lifetime.
Got it.
And so it's really, it's very powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, you can decide if it's woo-woo. You know, a lot of people say, I don't want to go to Nelda's session because, you know, this astrology thing. And I said, you know, just listen to, you know, this is a group session. We're all talking together about different things. You might hear something.
Right.
So just be open. It's just like trying a new food.
Yeah, and I mean, and I think the way you deliver it, I mean, it's not, it's back, you know, it's based on how to navigate and how to uncover, you know, yourself. So it's not just, okay, well, it's astrology for the sake of astrology. It's how do you use the fact that the universe exists, right? We're not here just, you know, it's there, right? We're part of it. There's that energy. There's electricity, there's frequency, there's water, there's all these chemicals. You know, we can probably bring in a chemist and he can translate this for the medical profession. But the point being is this, that you use these tools and these, you know, things that you've learned to help people. And I always love to say, you know, we're all a puzzle, right? And you know, there's these dots and there's these, you know, you got to connect these dots, right? And I feel like, you know, for me, myself, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a practitioner, but from a business perspective and from somebody who's in kind of the legal and business side of things and strategy and how to grow something and how to kind of put people together to because at the end of the day, when you have a company, it lives because of the people that are part of it, right? And so I feel like I'm the guy who's connecting the dots, right? Like something's happening in clinical, something's happening in nursing, something's happening in operations, something's happening. But for whatever reason, sometimes when I'm in the room and I'm kind of hearing all these things, I figure out, well, how do we connect these things together? And then, you know, how do we improve communication and things of that nature? So I feel like, you know, you are also in your own world and in what you do, a connector. You know, you're connecting both what the clients are going through the modalities that you've learned and the ability that you have to calm the mind. And hey, let's figure out why. What's the origin story, right? Like I think one movie we all love, and you know, maybe you do, maybe you don't, but Batman Begins, right? I know that's not necessarily something that I would see you watching, but Batman Begins was movie Christopher Nolan. He was one of the first, you know, 3 trilogies that he did. And it went away from the whole kind of like Batman as this comic book character to, well, you know, let's really like, who is this person? And then it went to the origin of like, how did this person become the Batman, right? And like what he went through and the trauma and the losing his family and then becoming, you know, criminal and like going through all that and then ultimately coming back and following the path, right? Actually, I would recommend you watch that.
You know what? I haven't seen it.
I think if you looked at it from your lens, you would
yes
like it. But at the end of the day, my thought is, you know, you connect the pieces and you help people uncover. And I love the analogies that you bring forward, you know, digging through the trash and getting rid of it. Like, you know, a lot of times people go through stuff and then they can't let go. Oh, I really like that shirt, you know. Well, you haven't worn it for 2 years. It's just sitting in your closet. You know, maybe we should donate that, or you know, if you need the money, maybe sell it for, you know, an auction. You know, same thing with emotions and feelings and things. And of course, it's challenging because it's life, you know, and it's people that this to you, and things happen to you, right? But sitting around and just sulking and playing the victim's not going to get you anywhere.
Yes.
So if you need to find your way out, Nelda's going to help. Nelda's a janitor. I don't know if we mentioned. She helps, you know, clean out the trash inside
exactly.
you. I actually think of myself as the CJO, which is the Chief Janitorial Officer. And because in business, too, there's so much shit that you have to, you're just like shoveling shit the whole time just to find the path forward, you know. And everyone wants to attack you. And you know, if you know what you're doing and you do it well, you can survive and be.
I got to see your 7th house because that's your business house. I got to check this out because, you know, the all these things that we're talking about, the frequencies, like I didn't mention that, like how there are, you know, the colors have their frequencies. Everything has a sound.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why we're so affected by music. And it's really incredible because I am a music teacher and I am affecting many, many many children, like thousands. In fact, I'm going to be retired in 2 days from that job.
I love it.
I know I've been doing it for like 30 years.
Wow, I want to learn
And
more about that.
Here I am. Now I'm in the next phase.
Yeah, I love it. What I'm going to do, because we need to wrap up soon, I'm going to go through some of these questions and just kind of more like fireball. I don't know, whatever we call that. And we just kind of go through them. So,
like Rorschach.
Yeah, exactly. So what are 5 ways to improve mental health?
Breathe.
Let's just list them. Okay, 1, breathe.
Breathe. Eat clean.
Okay.
Speak positively of yourself. Speak positively of everyone else. And truly love yourself.
That's 5. I love it. Can you improve mental health naturally? We already asked that. Mm-hmm. How to improve emotional well-being?
One of them is, like I said, take out that trash. Emotional, you got to change what you do not feel good about. You have to change that and replace it by taking a good look at what has made you unhappy and how you're going to be happy. And it's very important to see yourself happy and already in that place, like now. Mm-hmm. Even though you're imagining, okay, this is where I want to be, but you are. Mm-hmm. I am. Mm-hmm. I'm here now, and this is what I'm working towards, but I am here now, and I'm happy.
I love it. You got to believe it. You got to.
You have to have it now.
Got it. How to strengthen your mind?
That's another thing. It's almost the same thing. You replace the weak paths that take you backwards, that make you go, well, this person did this to me. You cannot eliminate it totally, but you can override it with a new path. So it's just like, when you have this one old path, you have this whole big long grass, and you're just gonna, okay, I'm gonna create something new. I'm going to go this way.
Got to get out of autopilot, go into manual override, and use the tools that Nelda gives you to get out of there.
Transform. Just forget about that stuff.
Right.
Overwrite.
Right. I love that.
Use overwrite. Put new software into your brain. Get rid of the old software. It's obsolete.
Yeah. And you know what the message there is? That is possible, right? A lot of people think I can't. Even without you putting any effort into it, your brain is changing as you age. Both good and bad, there's negative things, but there's positive things. So it's not just one path. Your brain can change, you can change. Yes. And, I think the mantra 120, I love that because that's something that you just repeat. Repetition is key to build habit.
Here's one, simple one. Aham soham. Mm-hmm. I am that.
Okay, I love it.
Aham soham, aham soham. I am that. Whatever it is, you are that. Mm-hmm. And it's just amazing. And we do this. Just say it over and over again. And what it does is just really makes you align yourself.
Yeah. I think that's phase 2, because phase 1 is believing that you're something positive. Right.
But going back to that software thing, look, what do? We always are upgrading.
Right.
So you got to put yourself, think of it in the language, in the vocabulary that we're using right now.
How do I stop feeling unstable?
Get your feet solid. Sit still. Mm-hmm.
The roots
be quiet.
that you were talking about.
Go sit by the ocean and let the ocean move you. Mm-hmm. Let everything else move you, but try to sit still and quiet in your mind. The thoughts are going to be there,
right?
But notice them and go, why am I thinking about what am I going to eat? Do I have to do the laundry? I have to pick up that. Quiet. quiet, look at the sky. I'm so grateful for the clouds.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so grateful for this. And all of a sudden you go into that mode of gratitude. You see, notice how you just took a deep breath.
Yeah, I was thinking of, I was out there. I was in
Right.
the ocean.
It's exactly
I was
what
looking
you do.
up. I was doing what you just said
Yes.
while you were talking.
So nature is
And if I feel
everything.
much more relaxed.
Nature is everything.
Yeah.
It'll
love
help you ground.
What can ruin your mental health?
Remembering okay, you can place yourself and you can think and think and think, okay, when I go to see my family this time, I'm not going to react. I'm not going to react. I'm going to be who I am now, not who they know me to be as I was growing up. Remember to respond and not react, because that's what they're looking for, that same reaction.
That's
that
a
same
key
drama.
difference, a key distinction. Respond, but don't react, right? And I think sometimes catching yourself in that automatic, response mode.
Right, and they'll push you. They'll push.
Because that's not a response, that's a reaction, right? Now you pause for a second, then you
Breathe.
can, take a breath, and then, I feel like sometimes that happens to me where just maybe I get angry or I get upset, but I know that I've done enough work on myself where I'm like, I don't want to be angry. It's not going to get me where I need to go, and so. Like I might say something, I might, the initial reaction might be there, but then I stop within, seconds. And then I'm like, okay, well, I take the breath and then I calm myself. And I think that's something important for people to know. I think sometimes people feel like they need to reach enlightenment or they need to, you know what I mean? Like, no, I mean, or they need to like, I can't react. Like, no, like, at least through my experiences, it's not like I'm going to change completely who I am. You're still who you are. You still have, these things that, whatever the reactions are. But it's being mindful of it, being able to catch yourself very, very early on and then pause and take the breath and then go into the way you want to be. Be the person who you want to be instead of the person that you might have been pre-programmed to be,
That's the word of the day.
There you go.
Mindful.
Mindful. I love it.
I
think we got most of these. We can wrap up with this one. I think this is a good positive one. How do I get, let's do two more. How do I get my mental health back? So I'm in distress. I'm drinking. I'm depressed. I'm suffering.
Come back to OceanRock. Come back.
Right.
And it's a lot easier to remember what brought you there and why you're responding this way, why you're putting that big giant human rubber on yourself because you don't want to feel.
Right.
You're trying to protect yourself, but you're just numbing.
Right.
Take it off, come back.
I like the zipper analogy.
Yes.
You had. Yeah.
See the
I could
light.
see that. See,
Right.
for me, I like to be able to see that. Last one. What are 3 signs of good mental health?
Smiling. You can feel it. You can feel, and the clear eyes. That's the saying. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, or you can see someone's soul. You can really recognize it. Look at someone's eyes and how they communicate. What was the question again? The 3?
What are 3 signs of good mental health? Number 1.
The eyes and how people are communicating. That the eyes, how you're communicating, how you're loving, how you're expressing. What can I do for you? This is it's not about you. It's not about
it's not about me.
No, it's
about-
not about me.
yeah.
It's about what I can do for you.
For others. Yeah, I love that.
That's what we're here for.
That's 1. What about number 2?
I said it's all, being able to see that when someone can show you their eyes, they're showing you honesty.
Right, I see. And I think it shows a few things, right? It shows they have, so it's like they've built all those stepping stones, the confidence to be able to look at somebody in the eye, right? That's not just that's both internal and external, because that's how you communicate. And if you can't look at someone,
Exactly.
why is that? So if you find yourself not able to look at someone in the eyes, that's something that it's not just about. There's something going on inside that we need to work on.
And you can feel it in people's body language. You can feel it when you hug someone.
And it's the confidence,
yeah.
and it's just the self-belief. I love it.
You can feel it.
Nelda, we've gone over a lot of topics, learned a lot about you. Happy to have you on the team, and actually we're excited to keep growing. We're going to be adding an adolescent track, sometime later this year. And the reason we do all that is because, we're both. I mean, I have 3 kids. I really connect with the younger generation, and I feel like there's been such a increase in distress for our younger kids based on so many different variables, social media, COVID, just the way that society has kind of declined, in my opinion, over the last few years.
Humanity.
It has. It really has. And I feel like there's so much fear. There's so much fear. It's so much fear-based.
Fear and doubt.
Yeah, fear and doubt and manipulation. To take advantage of people's fear, and it's gotten really bad. But the good news is, the same tools that can disseminate this negative information, whether it's social media or online. I feel like everyone's just getting everything from here. You can also use this to get access to treatment, get access to care, and get the type of benefits that you need to counterbalance all that other shit that's going on. Right. All right. Thanks for coming on the show, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode of OceanRock Health. This was our podcast. We had Nelda Alvarez, who her distant cousin from New Jersey. Met her in India. But thank you for coming on the show, and it was a pleasure to speak with you.
Mahalo.